A friend of mine said he saw a massive black triangular UFO silently floating above the treetops one night, and when he told me about it, he was obviously quite affected by it. I had no reason to think that he was lying, and I've always been interested in this type of stuff, so I looked into it, and I found a book about black triangular UFOs, and they'd been seen all over the world. They seem to be quite a common sight. For a while I went down the rabbit hole, the UFO rabbit hole, and I wanted to get to the bottom of it. Were these things real or not? I listened to endless podcasts and so on, but I noticed that in UFO investigation there's always a sense that the final piece of conclusive evidence is just within reach, but you can never quite get it. We can't seem to prove or disprove them, so we don't really know what's going on with them, I don't think. The nature of them seems to be very elusive. And I began to notice that some UFO sightings and encounters were of the nature of spiritual experiences I knew about, and they seem to exist in a liminal space, a space where mystical or unexplained things can occur, impossible to prove or disprove. They seem to live on the fringes of perception. So as such, there's no getting to the bottom of them in the conventional sense. And recently I came upon this writer called Patrick Harper, and he argues that UFOs and related alien sightings and abduction reports are part of a long-standing tradition of anomalous experiences. That which were previously understood in terms of diamonds or spirits or gods are now interpreted through the lens of modern technology and science fiction. And this really rang true for me. According to Harper, there is no culture which hasn't taken the existence of these beings for granted. The modern Western world tends to ignore these beings and the realm they live in, because it doesn't accord with our modern materialist assumptions. Now there's a really interesting UFO case from 1994 in Zimbabwe. These school children who encounter UFOs and aliens, they land just beyond their playground while their teachers are having a meeting, and they go and see them. And some of them said these aliens communicated to them telepathically. And if you watch the videos of these children that were filmed afterwards, they seem very sincere, and it's hard to believe that they're lying. And still to this day, these children have grown up and they maintain that they did see these aliens, they did see these UFOs. So what is going on here? There is a renowned psychiatrist from Harvard called Dr. John Mack who studied UFOs, and he investigated this case. He suffered quite badly professionally. His reputation suffered because he looked into these things, and I think at the time, maybe still today, UFOs or UAPs are not considered worthy of serious study. But anyway, he studied them for 10 years, and he came to see these experiences as a pointer to an expanded conception of reality. And he knew the Dalai Lama, and he talked to the Dalai Lama about these experiences, and he found that he accepted the existence of such beings. He said, the Dalai Lama has an awareness that the universe is filled with beings of all kinds. The Tibetan cosmology, if you like, has room for something like this, whereas ours doesn't. So, like the beings of Tibetan cosmology, UFOs defy the categories of real and unreal, even material and immaterial. And we struggle with this ambiguity. We like to think things either exist or they don't. They're existent or non-existent. In our current paradigm, we don't really know what to do with UFOs, but they won't go away. It's almost like they're trolling us, refusing to be proven or disproven, and they will not be pinned down. And this is, I think, where Buddhism comes in. But the Buddha himself rejected these poles of experience. He didn't see things in terms of existent and non-existent. He spoke of phenomena of becoming and passing away. So nothing has fixed existence, if you like, or non-existence. In Buddhist practice, we are ultimately trying to soften the poles of real and unreal, objective experience and subjective experience, external and internal. And when we soften these poles, this opens up space for this liminal realm. This is important because this is where the magic happens. When we do this, we begin to solve the problem of ourselves. We solve the split between self and world, and begin to feel connected to something beyond ourselves. The way we normally experience ourselves is as separate from everything else. Whereas when we start to break down that separation, we enter into a realm of awe and wonder where the magic of transformation can occur. Our modern secular materialist age blocks us from this realm by dismissing or pathologizing anomalous experiences such as UFO encounters or spiritual visions, and so limits our capacity for growth. And that's a real shame, because we're really longing for this psychic nourishment that this liminal realm offers, and simply encountering this space can change us. Many people who have these UFO experiences are changed by it, like they've been touched by something from another world, from another dimension, and it changes them. But they're often afraid to tell anyone, in case they look foolish. If you ask people in our culture, are you getting enough psychic nourishment from the liminal realm? They'll think you're a madman. We want to literalize UFOs, treating them as either real, material objects from another planet, or as purely imaginary figments of our mind. Yet they resist this literalization, remaining elusive, mysterious, and ungraspable. This is really the nature of all things. Everything's true nature is ultimately more mysterious and wondrous than we usually see. Thankfully, there are still communities and traditions that keep connection with this realm alive. I was lucky enough to stumble into one of them, the Triratna Buddhist community. In Triratna, we are trying to create a community and create a culture with the philosophical underpinnings and conditions where this liminal realm is more easily accessible and from which we can gain strength and rejuvenation. All this doesn't mean we should become credulous, accepting anything at face value. There's plenty of hoaxes, sentimentality, and loose woolly thinking out there too. It may well turn out that the truth behind UFOs is to do with government cover-ups and literal aliens from another planet, or it's explainable in mundane ways. But I prefer to think of them as signposts, as pointers to a deeper, subtler way of viewing reality, and to the psychic wholeness which we are deeply yearning for. Thanks for watching. If you want to support this work, please subscribe, like and share this video. You can also subscribe to my Substack for essays on Buddhism and to my Patreon if you want to support this channel financially. Links below.